Whoa, pretty intense.
Hmm.
Well, I'm going to ask you. Everybody wants to know, are you dead?
I wouldn't know that. You just don't know if you're dead or alive.
Oh my goodness, that is one intense scene. What did you think the first time you read it and you saw, here's what's coming up for my character?
Yeah, it was a more complicated deal, and I can't really talk about that.
About how you
We
felt
had
it?
talks,
Oh,
and there was all kinds of things that were leading to that, but that's a whole other issue. It's just I want to talk about it, in a more general sense.
okay, that's fine.
It's just
I don't want to get you in trouble.
the nature of this business where you have no idea what's happening with you, and what's going to happen, and what your life will bring. So that's how I see it.
Mm.
But it would be a shame if that interesting, wonderful, complex, unusual character was not developed
Right.
more. And I feel that there is so much more to that person. So I hope you know
Right. I guess we have to wait and see, huh?
that's
But
right.
I wanted to ask you because you're right. That character is complicated and mysterious. And you were just speaking in the first segment about how sometimes you get these really dynamic roles when you're too young to portray them. But in this role, you really do that character justice. How do
Yeah,
you prepare?
unfortunately, there was not much of a storyline there, and that became frustrating for
Mm,
me as an actor. So, you know, you hope that um, somehow the character can develop, and that you can actually. It has such a dramatic potential, that character. So, but Lost is a huge show, and somehow that whole storyline and that character got to be removed to the background, and that was sad for me and
mm.
frustrating. So we'll see
But
what
every
will
time
happen.
you're there, you make your presence known. I mean, you have intense scenes. I mean, these are not for the faint of heart. How do you go about, how do you prepare for those scenes? I mean, for example, the one where you're reunited with your daughter. How did you go about preparing for that?
Well, emotions have always come easily to me. I mean, it's just something that I have. I mean, it's an instinct again.
Mm-hmm.
It's very instinctual. I think the way I work, and somehow you let yourself go to these places that are there. I think that. Life prepares you for those scenes.
I wanted to ask you, do you think that you would be as prepared for this role if you hadn't been through some of the struggles back at home?
Well, it's definitely it contributed to whatever depth of feeling
Mm-hmm.
and emotional availability that you have as an actor, or you don't, but if you have it, then the emotions are there, and you
Mm-hmm.
just have to um, take them, capture them and take them out of yourself, and that's the technique
Right.
that deals with emotions. But um, I think there's also imagination, of course.
Sure.
I mean, you don't have to go through everything, in order
Thank
to
goodness.
be able to perform those states. I mean, you are required to act a death. I mean, how do you do it?
Right, right.
You can't experience it firsthand, so you have to imagine it. So there is this whole thing of using your emotions, your imagination, of getting there in your mind with your heart. Um, Emotional memory. I mean, I'm sure that students of acting know
Right. But you use it all,
about
in
it.
other words.
You use all those techniques, and you use yourself. That's your well. That's your main well.
Mm.
Your only well, really. I mean, your That's it. You have
Right.
yourself. And then you dig.
Right.
And sometimes, you have an opportunity to go deep, and sometimes that's not required, and it all has to be on the surface. And but Rousseau was one of those roles that required digging quite deep. You always want more, of course, as an actor.
Right. Well, you're not
Yeah.
you're not nervous to go there. You dive right in.
That's
We
right.
have some questions from some of your fans.
Oh, okay.
Who have things for you. One of the first questions is, do you think that Rousseau is ever going to get her flashback?
I would certainly wish for that. I think that character deserves it.
Right. What about, okay, this is from Santiago in Argentina,
Okay.
who would like to know, which other character on Lost would you like to play other than Danielle?
What a question. What an interesting question. Locke.
Wow.
I always, male roles are so much more interesting than female roles, unfortunately. That's just the world we live in. But, when I did my entering exam to the Academy for Dramatic Arts in Zagreb, I chose a male role. Actually, it was Pozzo from Waiting for Godot. And they all teased me. Why? Don't you want to be a woman? And I said, no, I just want to play interesting roles.
Right.
And they're mainly,
Right.
male.
If you're not going to write them, then
Yeah,
I've got the chops for the
exactly.
guys' roles. All right, this is from Nicole from Ireland,
Yeah.
who wants to know, how do you think Lost would end? And what would you like to see happen? Would you like to be there until the end?
Sure. I don't know. I don't have any theories. I'm not one of those people who have my own theories about Lost. What is it really?
Some of our producers have some ideas for you in case you're looking.
But yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, well, good. And this is from Kyla. What is your opinion of Danielle's character development since the first season? Do you like how she eased herself into regular contact with the main cast, or would you have rather had Danielle remain a recluse?
But Danielle is a recluse. I mean, she comes very. I mean, not as often as I would like her to.
Right.
So no, I think there hasn't been as much development as I would have liked it.
Right.
So definitely, I would like more.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we have to wrap it up. But the question I have to ask you is, if Danielle has died, what do you want audiences to have taken away from her character?
I think the most remarkable thing about that character is the combination between her strength and her almost masculine energy, and a very female sensitivity and vulnerability and emotional depth. So that combination is something that doesn't come very often, and I think that's what the beauty of that character is.
Very nice. Very nice. Any parting words of wisdom for other actresses used in all of your years of experience?
Somebody
Or
has
actors?
asked me, what do you have to say to young actors or students of acting, and my response was, don't do it.
Really? Oh my goodness.
But
It always
maybe
scares
I
me
should.
when I hear that.
I know. Well, there are so many elements. It's such a puzzle. It's such a puzzle with so many pieces in it, and you are not in control.
Yeah.
Even less than in other professions.
So be wary, in other
be
words.
wary,
All right.
exactly. Be cautious. Protect yourself.
Well, we're glad that you continue to do it. You really entertain us, and
Thank
we've
you.
learned so much from you. Thanks
Thank
for being
you.
with us, Mira.
Thank you. It is a pleasure.
That is our show for today. Thank you for watching CU at USC, the best college talk show on television.